I mean, look,
Let's
Josh.
see.
I mean, you got to admit though. I mean, those old pictures of all of those market hunter guys and all that crap. It sure was cool to be able to have all those pictures and squander the resource like what they did. I mean, don't you think that was cool?
Dude, what I find sad now, like those pictures work. I love looking at history and love seeing those old pictures. Okay. Especially old pictures from Louisiana and whatever. But nowadays, it's crazy to see the exact same style pictures, and they look almost identical to the pictures from back in the day. So what's the difference here, Duke? I mean, are we in a situation like we were talking? Is this bootleg? Is this modern day market hunting? Like it, if it's not, then tell me. But according to pictures, that's pretty damn close, man. I
Well,
don't see much difference there.
it is in my opinion the commercialization of waterfowl market hunting. It's why we had the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, and today it's just on a different, more modern scale. Money
Money wise, it's definitely on a modern scale.
in in real estate transactions, in developing properties to sell to people. I mean, it's definitely commercialized. That's exactly 100% what it's about. It's not about protecting the resource. It's not about making the resource better and healthier. This crap of feeding. I mean, again, modern waterfowl management says that ducks' intake of natural foods and stuff isn't good. That these hot crops are just as good or better for them to send them back to the breeding grounds prairie. But interestingly, for whatever reason, waterfowl management of the past had a different take on it. Why is that? Why has that
Dude,
changed?
Duke, if you think about it, it's a hot crop. It's what we said last show. It's a hot crop. It provides them something during the cold weather, but at the end of the day, it don't do nothing for them like any other time. Like that food, if that is, let's just say, okay, let's say that we're 100% correct, and these birds are all shortstop in the mid latitude states, and they're not making it fully down the flyway to get all the nutrients that God intended them to get. If that's the case, and they're eating straight corn and they're turning around and going right back to the breeding grounds, could that be? I mean, there needs to be a study on this because I've heard from different biologists that are currently up there and working on this that the hens are crushing their shells. So are they not getting the calcium, the nutrients that they need by not making the full migration? These are all the questions that Delta Waterfowl and DU and everyone needs to be posing. Like, why are we ignoring all this? You got the breeding population on a decline, but yet you ignore the fact that the birds are being shortstopped and eating shit.
Well, let me change this up here just a little bit. So, I've noticed recently that the modern day waterfowl management. I'm going to say Ducks Unlimited and Delta Waterfowl. I mean, I don't know that I can tell the difference between them anymore, but they're out there saying that basically hunter harvest has no impact. It has no role. That it doesn't it
Tell
doesn't
that to the Labrador duck.
it, it doesn't have any impact on anything. It's irrelevant. I mean, look, don't take my word for it, Rex. Get cut four ready, and let's go straight to cut four, and
All
let's.
right, here we go.
It is not reflective. When you can have
breeding population of 6.5 million mallards and a breeding population of 10.5 million mallards and have the same regulation, what it's telling you is we're not going to harm duck populations with harvest rates at these seasons. It is not an indicator of abundance or scarcity. And again, maybe that's on us. Maybe it's incumbent upon us to start telling that story better.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, as you pointed out, there's been years where we've had wicked high May pond counts and crazy high duck populations, breeding populations, high, incredibly good recruitment. And then we've had the inverse, and we've had the same regulations. So I don't know. It's a challenge.
Frank, you've always been a champion for hunter harvest not being the issue.
Right.
So I don't want to confuse the issue here that's saying that stabilized liberal bags are bad.
Right.
We're just focusing on the expectations that creates.
Right. Yeah. I think one of the greatest achievements in the duck world, to be honest, you can point out a lot of them. Our success with protecting wetlands in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
My duck stamp dollars have protected, and millions of
Okay,
others
stop,
have protected
Brett.
a third.
Stop. We got to unpack what we've got through so far. Josh, you got any 2 cents you want to throw in here on what they've said so far?
Well, I know for a fact that hunter harvest definitely affected the breeding population, or either the migratory bird treaty itself wouldn't have ever been written. That's common sense. I mean, look at the passenger pigeon, look at the Labrador duck, you name it. They were killed off due to hunter harvest, okay, and over harvesting them. So that right there alone, for them to even say that harvest doesn't play a role into the mortality of the breeding population, I don't understand why they would even say that.
Well, can't you conclude from what they're saying that the breeding population is irrelevant? It doesn't even matter, right? I mean, I recall there was a thread on one of the social media groups. I want to say within the last week, somebody was talking about showing or quote unquote evidence of surveys of populations that were wintered, and they showed that in the first part of their season they had harvested maybe 600,000 birds, and then we're trying to say that look, by December we only had 600,000 birds in there, and that somehow or another that showed that the birds were continuing on, that migration was still happening, that they continued on through and they weren't had the birds anymore. No, you freaking were killing them. That was the freaking deal. And
And
that's
the guy,
six
I remember that the
that's
guy acted like that couldn't be done. But whenever you look at the amount of birds that used to come to Louisiana, and what we actually wintered on our midwinter survey, and you looked at our harvest data, well, yeah, we killed off almost half of the birds that came to us according to those numbers, and we're not going to lie about it. That happened. So
well that
yes, that can happen.
that's not the numbers I'm talking about, and the person whose numbers I am talking about, he knows, and he probably regrets putting those numbers out there. But I mean, look, I agree with Roar and Devney on, you know, protecting the. I mean, look, that's why we all got into this. I mean, again, I said it last show, and I'll say it again. It made 100% when we watched the Duckman, when we watched that video, and when Phil Robertson said, guys, we got to help these ducks up there on the breeding grounds. We got to help them. I mean, it was right then and it's right today. I don't disagree with any of that. But are we doing enough? Has our focus changed? Has waterfowl management's focus changed? I think it has. I don't think that their why is about duck production on the prairies like it should be. They've done gotten off into uh, mid-continent restoration in these mid-latitude states and policy. John Devney right there. John Devney, guys, he's not a biologist. He's a political science major. He's not a biologist. Frank Rohr is. He moved to Louisiana. I mean, I'm saying, and you're saying that hunter harvest doesn't matter, and historically in waterfowl management, I mean, we had a season of 19 days at one time. And why is that? But because of over harvest. I mean, and how can you say that with a straight face? I don't care what data you have today. There's more hunters today now than
and
there was back
Dave
then.
Rave wrote an article for Flyway Federation a couple weeks ago, and we put it out. And David told me he actually had talked with Devaney about the same stuff, and Devaney didn't agree with him. And Dave's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, we have a serious problem in the breeding grounds, and with the North American mallard. Like, if we don't take action and do something, it's going to get bad. And this ain't just Dave saying this. This Paul Yak saying it as well. And they spent their entire careers working for waterfowl and following all the old guys. Like, they know what needs to be done, and anything that they say or write, they get just hammered over. And you read their stuff, and it is very on point. And I don't know why no one will look back to everyone who was successful in helping the North American waterfowl population and just play them off like they're nothing. It blows my mind.
Well, what holds primacy in waterfowl management today is not what's best for the resource, but what's best for the sustainment of the monetary interest of waterfowl management. Unfortunately, and it pains me to say that, and I say that from somebody who has raised a lot of money for both of these organizations in the past, and that's the bottom line. It's no longer the primary focus is not about the resource, it's about the money. So, and if that was the case, we would be as efficient as possible.